Addison is going to mix 1 4/5 ounces of blue paint and 2 1/10 ounce of yellow paint. Yeah. How many ounces of paint will Addison mix together? And what color is it going to be?
Green and purple.
Here's my problem from the paint situation. I have the blue paint at 1 4/5 ounces, and then I have the yellow paint at 2 1/10 ounces, and the word in the word problem that told me I needed to add it was the word mix. When I mix two things together, I'm going to add them. So when I look at this problem, I know right away from my previous lessons that my fractions are unlike denominators, so I need to turn them to like denominators. So I need to think about my 10 and my 5. So 10 and 5, I could list my factors. I'm going to do it really small up top. 5, 10, 15. Oh wait, as soon as I find the word that 10 is in common, then I know that my number 10 is the one that I'm going to use. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to turn it to 10, but I'm going to remember, and you need to keep this in mind too, that whole number needs to stay the same. So right away, I'm going to move that whole number right away. And now I'm going to change the denominator to 10. 5 times 2 is 10, and 4 times 2 is 8. This should be a review of what we've done before. And then the 1/10 is going to stay the same. So now I have like denominators that I can add. So I'm going to do the denominators, or the numerators first, excuse me. 8 plus 1 is 9, and the denominator stays the same. And then I'm going to go to the whole numbers. 1 plus 2 is 3. Never add the fractions with the whole numbers or the whole numbers with the fractions. Keep them lined up just like I did. See how they kind of have their own column here going on? That's what I want you to do. Keep that in mind. Last thing you need to make sure you do is check to make sure your final answer is in simplest form. And mine is, because it's one different, the numerator and the denominator. 9 and 10 have nothing in common. Lastly, you want to also consider doing an estimation. So I'm going to go back and review that with you. If I estimate 1 4/5, that's close to 2. And then I look at 2 1/10, and that is close to 2 as well. So I'm going to do 2 plus 2 is 4. So my answer is going to be about 4. Look at that. It was. So now I'm going to show you one that doesn't come out as easily as this one did. Addison, what color did that make?
Green.
Green?
Yeah.
What are you making there? What are you painting? What's it going to be? Not sure? We'll have to wait till you're all done. Think about estimation. With 7 2/5, well, half of 5 is 2 1/2. So 2 is close to 2 1/2. So I'm going to round it up to a half. So I'm going to go with 7 1/2 as my estimation. Plus, and then I'm going to look at 4 3/4, and I'm going to always bump that up to the next whole number because 3/4 is close to that. So that's going to be 5. So my answer is going to be about 12 1/2. So I'm going to keep that in mind on the side. Now, next thing I have to do is I realize that my denominators are unlike, so I need to find a like denominator. So I'm going to start by doing my 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20. I'm going to stop there because I'm running out of room. And I'm going to do my 4s. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Okay, 20 is my number. And I'm going to put this work to the side for now, but I'm going to know that 20 is my number. With 20 being my number, now I'm going to keep the whole numbers the same, make sure they're large and in charge so you don't confuse them with your fractions. So 20 is my like denominator, my least common denominator. So I'm going to do 5 times 4, and whatever I do to the denominator, I'm doing to the numerator, 8. And then 4 times 5 is 20, so 3 times 5 is 15. Now I'm going to add them up. 8 plus 15 is 23 20ths, and 7 plus 4 is 11. Now I have a pretty big problem here. 11 and 23/20 is not making sense to me because this is an improper fraction. So now I have to do the work and change that. When I change that, you guys have seen this before, I'm going to do my division problem. Many of you can probably just do it in your head because you know that there's 3 extra numbers that doesn't work for the numerator here. It's too high. But to show you how to do it, 1/20 would go in with 3 remaining, 3/20. So this is my extra, but I already have this whole number over here, so we cannot forget about that whole number. So I'm going to take what I got here with my mixed number, 1 and 3/20, and I'm going to add that to 11. When I do that all neatly, I'm going to add the whole numbers and add the fractions. There's no other fractions, so it's 3/20, and 11 plus 1 is 12. So my answer is going to be 12 and 3/20. Now let's go back to my estimation that I have saved over here. I said it was going to be about 12 and a half. So 3/20, I mean it's 7 away from being the half, so my estimation was pretty good. So now let's have you try a few. Try this one on your own and make sure you're aware that it is a subtraction problem. Pause the video and I'm going to do it myself here. You want to listen along. So first thing I'm going to do is know that I have to change my denominators because they are unlike. So I'm going to start listing my 6s. 6, 12, 18, 24. Okay, now I'm going to do my 4s. 4, 8, 12. Oh, I see they have 12 in common. So I'm going to just stop there. Stop right in my tracks. 12 is in common. I'm going to remember to write my whole number and I'm going to turn them into twelfths. 6 times 2 is 12, so 5 times 2 is 10. And 4 times 3 is 12, so 3 times 3 is 9. And now I got to remember I'm subtracting. That's one error I've seen you guys do a lot, is forget what operation you're really doing here. So I'm going to subtract. Can I do 10 minus 9? I can, so that makes me do my fractions first. That makes it very easy. So 1/12. And then I'm going to subtract my whole numbers. 4 minus 2 is 2. Now there will be something that happens in case that this denominator or this numerator doesn't work to subtract this numerator, but that will be coming in a few days. So my final answer here is 2 1/12. How about let's do one more. Pause the video and try this one on your own. Remember, it's an addition problem. In order to solve it, I'm going to first do my estimation, and I'm estimating that it's about 3 1/2 plus 1/2. So it's going to be about 4 is my estimation. Now I'm going to solve it through, but first I got to find out what the least common denominator is, and 8 and 12. So I'm going to list my 8, 16, 24. It's going to be 24. I already know. 12 and 24. You guys get good at this, you're going to know what that LCM is going to be. So don't forget your whole numbers. 24. And down here there's no whole number, and that's going to be 24. 8 times 3 is 24. 15 times 3, or 5 times 3 is 15. Jumping the gun there. 12 times 2 is 24, and 5 times 2 is 10. And it's an addition problem, so I'm going to add these guys. I'm going to get 25/24. Oh, I love when it's like that, when it's one away, so you know it's easy. It's an improper fraction, so I have to do my division. It's an easy one to divide, though. I know you guys are probably like, oh, I can just do it in my head, and that's fine if you can by now. You guys are starting to get really good at it. So 1/24. I'm going to move this to the side to add it so you can see it. So I have 1 and 1/24 plus 3. So I'm going to get 4 and 1/24. Wow, I got pretty close with my estimation. My estimation was over here at 4. So I know I got the correct answer. I hope you guys understand this lesson. It was really just adding that whole number piece and the possibility of having an improper fraction. I will be working on this more with you tomorrow.